Good evening, everybody. Tonight, Wednesday night, the 4th of September, episode 148 of So What's Been Happening. And tonight, it's all about AFL Finals night. It's either now or never. And that's going to be the title of the show. So at this stage, we're down to the final 4 games. That means 8 teams. So this is how it works.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
There you go, boys. We got it in early. All right. And speaking of Dumb and Dumber, we have found our man. Welcome him back. Welcome back, cuz.
As soon as I saw that wonderful meme come up, mate, I thought my name would get a mention not long after. It just relates to so many things in life, doesn't it? But obviously tonight's focus, as you said, 4 games of footy, 8 sides who think they're a chance to win it. We'll discuss it later on in the show, but probably realistically of the 8 sides, I'll say maybe 5 can win it.
Well, I don't know how you work that out, but let's see. We will talk about that tonight. Interesting to hear who you've instantly dismissed. But we've got a couple of special guests. Obviously, our great man, the Loveinator. Let's bring him up for a quick chat. Welcome back, Lovey. Footy's done. In your words.
Yeah, have a look at us 3 losers. It's quite demoralising, actually, to be honest, to be talking about football once again. Our team's done, isn't it? I mean, fair to you, Az, probably the last 4 seasons. You've had a bit of fun with it, but yeah, it's pretty wide open. I'm probably going to challenge Cuz later on his 5 only. I think that's it's a very pessimistic outlook on life in AFL Finals footy. So, yeah, no doubt we'll touch into it. We'll look forward to the chat.
We will. So we're going to bring up a little picture behind us. Let's talk about a little ray of light. There's hope. There's hope. So the good news is we've got a couple of special guests tonight that will be still in the mix. And excitingly enough, obviously being Bombers boys, you two, let's declare that your hatred for the Hawks runs very deep. But the exciting part is a special guest that joined us a couple of weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Adamo from the Listen to This podcast, has joined us, and it's all about the Mighty Hawks for him this year. Welcome back, mate.
We're a happy team at Hawthorn. We're the mighty Finey Hawks.
Oh, sing it now.
We love our club and we play to win.
There you go. There you go. Let's get the Hawks out of the way. Mate, you must be excited. Genuine on the eve of the finals for you. Exciting time. Must be a chance, surely. Interesting to hear with Cuz in a minute whether Hawks are even a chance at all, a sneaky, whether he's in the top 5 out of his 8. But what do you think? We'll touch on, we'll get your thoughts, obviously, on that game in a second, Adam, but it's great to have you with us again, mate, to talk footy and have a live one, so to speak, someone that's got a bit of passion for a team that hasn't been there for a while. I believe the Hawks have got the lowest amount of finals experience in amongst that squad, which is no surprise, I guess, at the end of the day. We've got our good mate Rusty going to join us for a rant at some stage, so beware, boys. We all know how that's going to go, but at what stage is he going to have internet? That's going to be the big question of the night. So we might just talk about what's been going on in the world just before we kick off with a bit of footy. Adam, give us a bit of gold, mate. What's going on in your world in the last? Let's give us 24 hours. Where were you 24 hours ago, 8 o'clock at night? What were you doing?
24 hours ago. So this time last night.
Yeah.
I was on the couch, probably watching a little bit of TV.
Whacking off about Hawthorn, I'm sure.
I think I was
85 grand final, mate, or 84?
84. What did we win? We won 83. We won 80. Oh, mate, you're talking about Bombers, mate. Actually, I've got an idea. Sorry to change the subject there, and I know you asked me an important question. But I've got 2 Essendon supporters online here, and I made an investment. I think it was in year 2000. Now, I'm going to auction something off tonight. I have personalised plates, Don's BB, in my name.
BB.
If you want me to go and get them,
Intriguing.
I've got them in the cupboard. I made an investment in 2000 when I think they won the premiership, and then they were playing in a grand final, and I bought these premiership plates, Don's BB, because they were supposed to win, and they got done, I think, by Port or Brisbane, I'm not sure. They got done because I made this investment that but having said that, Don's did win 84-85. So is there a bid? Is there an opening bid? Don's BB.
I have a question for you. First of all, does it have the current AFL logo on it?
Mate, I can go upstairs. They've been in the cupboard for 24 years.
So my other question to you, as a Hawthorn supporter, you went out and bought Don's back-to-backs, right?
For an investment. I tried to make money.
Never came to fruition. So they're valuable, about as valuable as my nutsack. So let's be really clear about this. I'm questioning, have you ever spoken to a financial planner?
I thought it was a good investment. It was pretty funny. Just after the match, when Essendon lost, I was getting calls left, right, and center. People offering me like $50 and $20. What are you going to do with your plates now, you idiot? I'm like, mate.
You know what I reckon the BB could stand for? Back to the bottom.
Is there a bid? Do I have a bid from Cuz? Do I have a bid? Is there an opening bid?
No,
Don's
mate,
BB.
Cuz isn't a betting man, just to let you know.
No, look, I was a betting man. I was a betting man, but I've reformed my ways. Let's just simple story. Look, I think that's an amazing story because, as we all do when we're passionate about things, we make sometimes outlandish decisions. The gentleman to your right, as I look at the screen, he has made a couple of big statements on the podcast about getting some tattoos if certain sides make finals. As and I have barracked for the Gold Coast at one stage to make the finals and whatever. So hopefully that dream comes. So look, financially, you're not going to get any money out of it, but it's a nice little story to tell your kids and grandkids later on when Essendon win the flag, hopefully in 2025, a quarter of a century later.
So there's no opening bids. If you want me to go, I can go and get them. I know exactly where they are.
It's all about whether it's the old logo. We're going to send you off. We're going to send you off. Righto, he's on his way. This is a little bit of history. Anyway, good to joke about this after 20 years. I couldn't even tell you where anything is in my house after 20 years.
I normally burn mine.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Fair to say you'd nail the door shut.
What are you doing tonight, mate? Is that the solo you on there, Lovey?
It is. It's all right.
Nice. Alcoholic or normal?
No, normal. I'm not alcoholic like you. It's okay.
Cuz, you got your water bottle from Melbourne 1984, have you? Just before he comments. Oh, Cuz. Yet to prove us right. Yet to prove us
from Yarra
right.
Valley Water. Anyway.
Yeah, Yarra Valley Water. There's a sponsor. Got a plug for him, Cuz? Got a plug?
Yeah. What did I say? The matters before the courts.
We might have to get the comment.
That needs another podcast on its own at some other stage, I think, as.
Not all comments are the opinions of the whole crew.
We'll talk in depth about situations that I've put myself into, and I've put myself into, but I know in this case, I actually didn't. Simple as that.
Righto, we'll go back.
Move on.
Maybe a bit of this, Cuz. Not really sure. So we're not really sure what happened, but I'm sure you fill us in at some stage. We look forward to closure on the matter.
Just like Mafia does with the concrete. You'll fill us in. I've got no doubt.
Righto, here we go. They have been found. Question is it Essendon or could it be the great Don Bradman? The Dons. BB.
Mate.
There you go. No AFL logo. So black and white. Classic colours.
That's a good investment. Mate, look at the eyes light up on these boys. Don's BB 84-85.
The only problem
is there an opening bid?
The only problem we're facing right now is Cuz has only got a skateboard to roll around on at the moment, so it's just not going to cut it.
I'm going to put those over here.
Yeah, put them in the back. We might find a buyer before the end of the night.
Yeah, let me ponder my own stupidity and potentially buying those off you, Adamo, at some stage.
Mate, they look great in the pool room.
He is a chance to buy it. Don't.
Yes. Well, that's better, Cuz. Sit back a little bit. We'll see that beautiful face of yours and the red ginger beard. It's looking great. Righto, Cuz. Perfect.
Just stay there the whole night.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. There he is. You're looking good, Cuz. That's all I'm going to say, mate.
We're losing everybody now. What's going on?
A signal loss?
Oh, I'm losing you, boys.
Frankston loss.
Yeah, pedal, Cuz, pedal.
Yep.
He's got Rusty's disease, fella. He'll work it out at some stage. Nice of him to join us for 5 minutes. Little did we know, there's a lot of this happening with Cuz at the moment. We saw that behind the scenes. Anyway, let's not get too stuck into the great man for too long. Cuz, turn your camera on, mate. We need you here quickly. All right, boys, we're going to kick off. Rusty's nowhere to be seen, so he might miss. But we'll see how we go. We are going to talk first game. Here we go. It's 24 hours before the big bounce. They would have kicked off by now. Actually be close to halftime right now. The big question I'm going to ask you, boys, what would the score be at halftime? We're going to go for something a little bit different amongst our chats tonight. Lovey, you're going to start us off. How many goals have Port Adelaide kicked versus Geelong on tomorrow night? Come halftime.
So I'll talk about Geelong more in depth later when we go through Cuz's write-offs. Half-time, I've got Port Adelaide 8-5 to Geelong 3-4.
Wow. That'll be interesting. 8-5 to 3-4. So it's tight-ish, tight enough.
31 points, half-time.
Yes. Righto. Adamo, give us your wisdom. Where do you think they'll be? How's it going to kick first game in?
I think Port Adelaide, look, the last 3 years, what have they finished? They finished, second, third, second, I think, in the last roughly 3-4 years. They haven't really performed. I think they've won, off the top of my head, maybe 1 or 2 finals in that time. They're just, look, I think Horn Francis, Butters, I think these guys, in and unders are going to get the job done. But then again, it really just, it depends on what team turns up. It really depends on from the opening bounce. If is Geelong going to be the one that's going to, nullify them and then puts the crowd out of the equation. If they go head to head first quarter, they put the crowd out of the equation. They kick a few goals. It really depends on what happens. But I really think this is set up this year for Port. What have they learned in the last 3 years? What have they learned to bring them to this spot? If they go out again, they've learned nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big question. Thoughts, Lovey?
Yeah, I agree with Adamo. I think with this time last year, Aaron, I think you'll recall I said I had my doubts about Port because their midfielders just didn't have that killer instinct. They were a bit small. They weren't as big as your Paddy Crippses and those guys that could take a game apart. They needed to get a bit bigger if they were going to start winning finals. I think they're more mature, particularly in the last 8 to 9 weeks. I think they've shown a real maturity and consistency about the way they go about things. I think Horn Francis' second year there's just been quite a difference, along with Butters being a lot more stronger over the football. None of them are getting bounced off it. And I just think that, with Rosie no longer having to try and smack his body around in there when he shouldn't be anywhere near as often, I do think that Port have just got that really good mix in the midfield now. And they're not boys. They're not boys anymore. They're quite physical in the way they go about their footy. And so for me, that's why I think they will go very, very close to winning the whole thing this year. And that's why I think they've got Geelong covered pretty comfortably this week.
Righto. Here's my halftime prediction. Geelong.
It's a draw.
No. 6 goals straight. Okay, halftime. Port Power, 3 goals, 11. So mark that down. Cuz, numbers wizard. You can put that in the paper, mate, and go to the bank. You get some good odds on that one, but gamble responsibly. Righto, Cuz, give us your thoughts, mate. Give us your thoughts.
So, okay, I like that. Just a quick little side note, that'd be like Hampton Park, who I'm involved in coaching at. We kicked 3 goals, 12 for the whole game on the weekend in the wing. That went a long way to us losing our first semi-final, but sidebar.
Well, in the
Like
wing, that's fair enough. But a halftime score, Cuz, are you going to give us a halftime score?
I think, for the reasons both the boys said, I think Port probably 7-2. To the Cats, maybe 5-4. I think
straight enough, King.
I think the Cats have found a way to get themselves another top 4 finish, another shot at a flag. But their reliance, and I know he's a superstar, Jeremy Cameron, but the reliance on him is concerning, and also the reliance on Danger. Danger's got to have the month of his life at his age for them to go deep into the finals, I think. So I think that's why I think Port will win this game and pretty easily in the end, I think.
Right
with
on.
what they've learned from previous
We're not
finals.
talking about a winning yet, so you've jumped the gun, but we're only down to half time. But anyway.
Okay, that's all right.
All right, we're going to bring on our finals expert. The question is, you ask, who could this be? That's a big question.
Here he comes.
I've got a fully good idea who it is.
God help us. Welcome back.
Come on.
If anyone could tell us how to win a final, it's got to be a Richmond man, doesn't it?
I mean, you've put another trophy in the cabinet this year too, haven't you, Eddie?
Yeah. Well, I got to say, anyone that's serious about winning the grand final have got to do T-shirts right now before.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Both Hawthorn and Footscray have got the worst T-shirt merch I've seen in a long time. What is going on with merch in the AFL? It's terrible.
Yep.
Like, come on, we need to be learning from this. We're aiming everything at Bogans, and like it's got to be everyone here.
Well, like all of us on this podcast.
There was a few out there, Eddie. There was a few out there. You must be aware of that.
It's a Bogan sport.
Aware of that. But come on, we can elevate stuff. Come on.
So
Just
what
to
would
give
you
you boys
want,
a little-
Eddie? Give us
just
your
to give you
three
boys a
key
little
things
insight.
you would want to change in T-shirts and paraphernalia.
Oh, honestly, like we don't need to see another football player on a T-shirt. Like,
Very true.
we like have a look at the Footscray one that's come out. It's bloody terrible. Hawthorn is better, but not much better. Like it looks like the start of a film. Like I don't know.
Eddie?
Like it's got to. It's just
someone who designs T-shirts. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask Ash this as well. With merch and that, obviously, they seem to have gone away from the clubs in their traditional colours as well too. Like Essendon, red and black, Richmond, yellow and black. So understandable, Richmond would have a black cap, but all 18 clubs now have these black caps, like these AFL approved whatever caps. Because I know for Christmas last year, my son's got me one, and they're the legit proper caps. But there's no way. It's almost to help supporters who don't want to be proud of their side when you're having a bad year. Like
that's true.
Our side's have you noticed
that?
I guess, with a lot of...
I have. I guess like black is the color that sells. Like so everyone's going for a safe bet there, but it's good to rock the boat a bit. And I'm quite serious. The AFL needs to get their shit together. And I'm looking at even the way that they're promoting this campaign. 8 stories, 1 ending is what I've seen on TV. And honestly, have we not seen that for the last couple of years? Like, let's just get something fresh. It's
right
like
at the barrel.
it's like they're dragging out the Christmas tree. Like, and they're doing the same thing. It's like a Maya Windows repeating the same thing over and over and over. Like, I just think that we're better than what we're coming across as with all of this, all of the merch. Like, it's like we're in a different era. Like, and we've got to be seeing things like, why can't we, like the Indigenous artists have Indigenous round? The Indigenous art is the best thing that's happening in football at the moment. And another thought would be, why don't you assign an artist per team and get some stuff from different artists to do some excellent stuff? But artists that are passionate about that team. And I'm telling you, it would be super cool to see.
Come on, Eddie. I've seen your finger painting.
Just saying, like it drives me crazy how we're going round and around in circles on all of this stuff, and it could be so much better. Like the AFL's like saying that it's the most popular it's ever been, but I'll tell you what, I'd love to know the merch sales, like and seeing where that goes, because when you go to a band, as you would know, Aaron, you're going for merch sales, and the merch stuff is elevating, and that's going all right. But like, you've just got to be doing that with sport as well. And also, I think the thing that's struggling in particularly Melbourne is that art and sport need to merge a bit more. Like, I think it does. Like, in all honesty, I cannot believe we haven't even got to this point yet. But why are the AFL banners not being done by artists? Come on.
True.
Get me in front of the AFL.
That's a really good question, Eddie, because as you said before, the couple of words that you said a couple of times there were supporters and passion. So it would be fantastic. Yes, I know we can't have a game of AFL without players and umpires and coaches, but as much as the AFL would not admit it, if the supporters don't go, we saw how much the players still got their payments and whatever with what happened with COVID, and there was no atmosphere at the game, and they tried to create atmosphere, and 90% of the players you spoke to said, yes, we enjoyed the win, but it was hollow. Yeah. So we need to get those two things together, the passion of the supporters and also the people with the skill set, artists, creative people like that, and say, let's do something, as you said, a bit different. It's 2024.
Like, if the 1980s had duffel coats and embroidered patches of every player, surely 40 years later, we can be doing something a lot more innovative than what we are doing, because at the moment, it's just playing dumb. It's just like, it's frustrating to watch. And I love football. Like, I love watching it. Tigers don't always have to be there, but it's honestly, like, it's insane.
It sure is.
It's interesting. The only thing that I actually like about the merchandise at the moment, I'm with you, Eddie. I think you go into those AFL stores, and the only people that would even remotely have any sort of interest in it is people that are buying for their kids. The kids don't know any better, so they just want something, right? But I'm. It's pretty deflating. You go to an AFL store, would you wear that down the street? No.
It's your material. Like, so when I did the Richmond t-shirts in the for the finals, like 2017, I did Richmond t-shirts because I was passionate about Richmond, like not knowing that they would go on to win the grand final. But I released them before the final series started, not in the week of the grand final. And I do think that I've noticed Footscray and I've noticed Hawthorn have done it this week, which is good. But I just think that I look at the designs and I just go, like, honestly, that's a throwaway t-shirt. Like, it's like, you're not going to wear that proudly.
Hey, and Damo, you'd have a few things, wouldn't you, mate? You'd have some amazing merch tucked away over the years.
Mate, when Hawthorn won the triple, I was coming out of the MCG because we did make a few grand finals and part of a winning team, so I've got a pretty good memory of winning. So on the third time when I was running out, I bought this T-shirt, the triple with the flag. It was white, and it shrunk and everything. Cost me $50 or something. But I was with my brothers, and it was a special moment. But if the rag trade's not really happening with the merch and all that, maybe this might be an enterprise for Aaron. Isn't Aaron in the rag trade? Where's Aaron gone?
The problem is the AFL. The license holder, the AFL needs to let go a little bit of this stuff. And in fact, I was around that period of Hawthorn's like 3 premierships, because I was art directing projects for Hawthorn, and they were actually trying to get art involved in Hawthorn. So we did murals around Hawthorn. We did the one with Justine next to Coles on Glenferrie Road. We did different things. Like it was good. Like to see, just more of that needs to come back, I think.
My other question for Adamo is: have you still got that 1996 preseason jumper with the Hawthorn, the diamonds, the real sick vomit thing?
The Power Rangers one.
Oh
No.
God!
Maybe Aaron can bring it up on screen. He might be able to look. Mate, the Hawks have tinkered with a lot of their uniforms in the last 10 years. Indigenous, soft, but mate, the brown and gold, it's a winning formula. And the Hawks are up against a rampant doggies at Friday night. So that's very, to tie it all back in. That's who you guys going for. Who do you guys think's going to win?
I think so. I think we're doing the halftime thing again. I'm assuming I'm talking on behalf of Aaron here. So the old halftime thing here. I'm going to be honest, Adamo. It's not because you're on the call, but I think the dogs have got so much more experience, and I just think it's probably going to be at halftime. It's going to be like 6 goals 3 to 1 goal 8. Dogs up.
I reckon Mitchell does not want to lose, and I reckon that it's going to be Hawthorn up probably by a couple of goals at halftime, but Hawthorn is going to win that match. I think, like, you got to go on the killer instinct of Sam Mitchell. That's all I'm looking at.
Mate, you know the difference between playing pre-season and then playing finals? When you've got a guy like Sam Mitchell who's proven, like winning a home and away team, winning a home and away game is very different to final. Winning a final is not an ordinary game. It's do or die. And Sam Mitchell, I still think he's in my top 5, top 10 of all time at Hawthorn, right? I said that last couple of weeks ago, but I'm telling you now, he will get them ready. It's do or die. And look,
I reckon too.
It's exciting. Look, I think they'll just run rampant.
Hawthorn is a very progressive side. They've been up there for a long time. It's good to see them back in the finals, like having a bit of a crack. I do think that Footscray and Hawthorn is a very good elimination final. I reckon Footscray is going to throw everything at it. But I look at in the finals, it's not just about skill. It's about killer instinct and how much you want it. And I really, really believe the Hawks want it more than Footscray. I don't know if they'll get past the next final, but for a victory here, I think that if Sam Mitchell didn't win this one, he'd be bloody upset. No matter how well they've done in the second half.
Okay, all right. I'm going to set the scene here. Half time. Okay, the boys enter the rooms, and we've got a score that looks like this: 7 goals, 5. Let's go with that for the doggies. 5 points for the Hawks.
Fucking hell, mate.
Fair to say, your man Sam Mitchell is going to start tearing some paint off the walls. This is their moment.
Yeah.
Adam, give us something. What do you tell your boys at halftime? Then we'll go to the two coaches.
What do you say, mate? Don't.
Yep, absolutely.
Look, what do you say to your boys? You say to your look, Sam Mitchell's just. What do you say to your boy? That's a very interesting. Get back to basics. Put your head over it. Win the ball. Just basics. I think that in finals, you know what they say is it's all about doing the simple things very easy and executing the simple things. You don't have to be flamboyant. You just got to play your role. So he'd be just saying, put your head over it, go for your marks, ground ball, run the ball. You know, how have we been winning? Stick to your process. But they do all
process isn't working, Adam. You're 7 goals down. You haven't touched the footy. Your process isn't working. That's the Simon Goodwin theory. Stick to your process.
Oh, mate, you've been hanging for this.
Start sending the boys back. Send them back. This is what I'd do. I'd pull out this jumper from 96. Look at that ripper.
Shocker.
Look
mate.
at that. That's something you wear on a skateboard, mate.
It's
got to be one of Eddie's Amet specials. That one there. Look at the font. Hey, no space around the numbers. I don't know who 36 was, but God, he must have been on the bench for sure. All right, here we go. Look at that.
Look at this. This is a project. I can't even remember how long ago I did this. Mr. Mitchell there. It's quite funny.
Oh, yeah, Sam Mitchell. And
look how young he looks.
That's when we wanted to be America.
Leon Davis. And who's on the end?
What was his name?
Who's the one on the end?
Cuz will know. He's all over these type of blokes. Carlton, is that or Geelong? What are we looking at?
Carlton.
Oh, that's he.
Houlihan?
Yeah, it was Houlihan.
Yeah,
well
I
done.
think you might be right.
Yeah.
Very young.
Well played,
Adam Houlihan, I think. Adam Houlihan.
I thought it was Ryan Houlihan.
Oh, I think they were brothers, and I think they were all on lists at one stage as well too, across a couple of the sides, footy teams.
How many games, Rain Man?
I've art directed a lot of players, and people like that. But Sam Mitchell just wanted to. He knew how he wanted to look. Look at this, so funny. Beautiful. But look how young he looks.
You know what I love the fact that Az has
the beanie?
That Az has brought the passionate Richmond supporter on tonight in the Great Eddie, and obviously a passionate Hawthorn man in Adamo, and obviously Lovey and I, we support, and obviously as being Demons. I love the fact you haven't mentioned at any stage tonight that you and Adam can have a bit of a stoush over the merger, Melbourne and Hawthorn. Maybe it's a good time to bring up the merger again.
No, we'll get to that. It's been years of dominance. Years of dominance since Demons dominated in 88. It's I've still got the T-shirt, boys. Still got the T-shirt. Cuz, we need you to sit back a bit.
Halftime?
Yeah, we're getting complaints. We're getting complaints from our avid viewers.
Your mother?
No, Berkey. He's filthy.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Now, Mark wants to know, boys, it's been 30 minutes and we haven't mentioned the Pies, the biggest failures of the season. They've got to be the most disappointing before we move on to the next game, surely. We talk about straight sets. We've all kicked Melbourne in the guts for the last couple of years going out straight sets. But Pies, any danger? Where are you, bud?
Don't even
have to worry. No. So we don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
Yeah? They're gone. Yeah. They're done. They're irrelevant.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't say that, Berkey.
There you go, Berkey. Done. You're irrelevant.
Correct. Absolutely. And this last week, we got to say goodbye.
Just relax.
Dude.
Okay? We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
We said goodbye to the Tigers and we said goodbye to Razor Ray. Still one of the greats. It was much shit we've potted on him over the years. He'll go down in history as one of the greats. And at the end of the day, he made a laughing stock of the AFL by telling them he couldn't bounce anymore. So they just said, okay, don't bounce. Just throw it up. So he did. What a joke.
Well, you know what? He's not alone that can't bounce, Stokes. There's a couple of blokes in the AFL now can't bounce either, but still manage to try at the start of every game and still manage to fuck it up.
Well, we've still got players that can't bounce the ball
Yeah.
running, let alone getting an umpire to bounce the ball.
So what was the score at half time? 7-5 to 5 behinds.
Correct. Righto, we go back to you. Exactly. Let's pick that up. Right, Lovey, you've been there and coached. You've head coached a couple of local clubs. Cuz, you're going to tell your blokes in the back line, for starters, to do something. I'll come back to you in a second. Lovey, we've broken up into our lines and we've joined back up as the group. What's your final message as these boys run back out there to finish after half-time?
It's not my final message. I've got 2 messages left. The half-time message would be you're 7 goals down, get it down to 20 points. Easiest way to do that. I want all the forwards to come up around on the top of the centre square, ball up. I want an extra up around the football, but I don't want him so obvious. I want him at the forward of the pack, not out the back. So I want our ruckman to get aggressive, get it to the extra, and then let our players run forward, kick it to the space out the back as much as we possibly can. Worst case scenario, if they get it, it's deep down in their defensive half rather than probably turning it over halfway up the ground or across our half-forward line. Got to help the defenders out. The defenders are probably absolutely copping it like there's no tomorrow if it was 7-5 to 5 behinds. So that's probably they're probably the key things I would change up. The other thing is personnel. Obviously, the current mids aren't getting the job done in there. I would actually whack. I'd put Newcomb forward, and I'd bring Weddle up onto the ball. Don't know me. You're down by 7 goals.
Newcomb's an in and under, mate. He's in and under. He's
shit if you're 7 goals down. He's shit if you're 7 goals down.
He was handpicked by Mitchell, him, Warple, mate. They're all one-on-one basis. They're just, mate.
Yeah, I know. But 7 goals down, junk.
Mate, 10 weeks ago, no one knew who this Weddle was. Mate, he looks like a gazelle. When he runs, he's on top of the ground. He's humble, and mate, everyone didn't know who he was.
Fucking his second year of footy, whatever.
Mate, everyone's like, where are these kids come from? You know, like Weddle, mate, he gets that ball, you can't catch him.
Is that what you're saying at half time?
So what's the offer on the plates, mate?
$10
on the plates.
10 plate, mate. There's 2 there. Look at that.
$10, mate.
$5.
I'm not even going to see it. I'm never going to see it back to back at Essendon. So
what do you mean? You've got back to back.
I know. I saw that when I was 7 and 8 years old, or 8 and 9.
What do you reckon these are worth, Aaron?
Oh, not a lot, mate. Let's be honest. Actually, our memorabilia genius that loves his art. He's a collector.
Who's a collector?
Well, Eddie Zammit. He's a collector of many fine things.
Get him on board. Ask him what he's.
I will. I'll bring him up right now.
Bring him up,
right, Eddie. Fill him in on the story.
We've got the opening bid from I think Cuz is offered 300.
Yeah.
And I think the bid's at 300. Mate, 1984, 85, good years.
I know. It's kind of the years that you would have number plates that were personalized. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm not helping the cause. What are they worth from your opinion?
Well, they're worth what someone's willing to pay for them.
And do they go to some sort of charity? Where does the money go to?
Oh, okay. That's probably not a bad question. That's a question without notice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I'll make a deal. I reckon we could donate something to MND there. I reckon. MND Foundation there. The Freeze. That might be a good cause. The motor neuron. What do you think? I'm trying to balance this thing. Hang on, let me put this thing up.
What would you guys pay for it?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. I'd take them off your hands just so we don't have to talk about these number plates again.
They look good there.
Adam, as you said, I have got the leading bid at the moment of 300. That's 300 cents.
Yeah, Mate, if you're an Essendon supporter, they've won back to back.
Look,
I know, and like Alan, I was lucky enough being 14, 15 to see those two back-to-backs. But a little story, and I'll be very quickly with this one. My mum and dad still with us, thankfully, but they separated about 37 years ago. Dad took me to the 1983 grand final, which you won by 83 points. And he went, I was 13, so I knew how to get the train home, but he went home without me. I should have known that was a sign of things to come. So I hate Hawthorn for two reasons. You broke up my family and you beat up our football side. But I'm not bitter, mate. I promise I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
So you can, as I said, I think we can find a way to make some donation to MND to take them off your hands. But yeah, I don't think they'll be worth an awful lot.
Righto. We'll come back to that.
Who's had the best three-peat in the 2000s? Brisbane, Hawthorn, or Richmond? Just bring it back to Richmond.
Good question. Just make Richmond relevant again. Yeah.
Hang on a minute, Eddie. Did you say Richmond did a three-peat?
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Come on, mate. If you're going to talk facts,
That's like saying we didn't win a premiership. Come on, boys. We won one too.
You won a premiership in a non-eventful year.
We won the free one. No, the one no one wanted. We won it. We'll take it. Like the AFL X, we won that too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell me,
silver
Adam,
ball.
in all honesty, and I understand your excitement, and as a footy, now this is genuine, as a footy lover, and I've done a little bit of coaching and whatever, there's a bit of a backstory with the game, obviously, with Sam Mitchell and obviously Luke Beveridge spending a fair bit of time when he was sort of doing his apprenticeship as a coach, Beveridge at Hawthorn. He coached Sam Mitchell in the midfield, and I think it was touched on one of the other TV shows during the week. Do you think that will be a factor at some stage during the game?
No.
I think they've. I know Luke Beveridge quite well from where we grew up and sort of played junior footy net together and whatever, and he's a very black and white sort of person, and Sam Mitchell's a bit like that, and that can be polarizing to a lot of people. So I think they're actually very similar, determined and loyal the way they go about things, and it'd be interesting to sort of see. And you can see it now. I think Mitchell, he may not admit it, but he's definitely tweaked. You can't tweak your personality. It's hard to do that. You can't change yourself. But I think he's changed his style to encompass young players like Ginnivan and those sort of blokes. And I think that's probably why they're doing as well as what they're doing. Or part of
to answer your question, I think that, Sam's been lucky enough to have those role models around him, Beveridge and Hardwick and some others. But the good thing about Mitchell is Mitchell was always thinking ahead of the game. You listen to his interviews, he's like, I don't want to be doing what people are doing now. I don't want to catch up to those people there, because by the time we learn that, someone's doing something else. So they sit, and I think he gets a lot of that from Clarkson. Clarkson was a pioneer in that. He changed the game in those early, 2013, 14, 15, even earlier than that. So now he's got this game where he's, going more into the center and he's bringing it back out.
I'm not sure if
he's
always been ahead of the game. Come on.
That's what I like about Mitchell. He's thinking about like a chess, what are people going to be doing later on? And then he's like, when we've mastered that, people are trying to do what we're doing. And by the time that they work it out, we've already analyzed the game. We've done our match reports. And then, because, that's what they do during the week. They do the match reports. What did we do well? What didn't we do well? But when you come from good stock, when you come from a winning formula, and I'm not saying this just to be, because I'm a Hawk supporter, but, being in a Hawthorn winning culture, you've had Clarkson, you've had, Hardwick, Beveridge there, you've had, it just breeds success. And I think that his game style, he's got runners, brings it out into the center, he brings it out, and they're all good with their skills. So I think, to answer your question, Cuz, there on, with Beveridge and what's going to go on there with his influence. I think Mitchell's already thinking forward. He's already thought forward ahead of the game. That's my opinion.
Righto. Thank God there's only 4 games because we're taking forever. Righto. Adam, you didn't really convince me that the Hawks are going to get up and about, but let's get a final margin. We talked about halftime and what'll happen, and Lovey gave us a super inspiring speech from a coaching point of view that made way too much sense. Let's be honest. Cars gave us nothing.
Speak as a coach, mate.
Cars gave us nothing, which is pretty standard for a coach.
Well, you turned me off. Sorry, I apologise.
I didn't give you a chance. Let's face it.
Thank you.
All right, Cuz, we'll go with you first. What's the margin, mate? What's the final score?
I think the Doggies by 5 goals.
Oh,
so nice. Do you want me to break it down for you? So
no, that's fine. 5 goals is fine. Righto, you're off. Get the boy off. Righto. Eddie, give us your next.
Hawthorn by 11.
Points or goals?
11 goals.
Points, right. Close one. We got the close one. Lovey.
Dogs by 34 points.
Mate, I thought you were a smart man.
I am.
34.
Dogs by 34 points.
Good turnaround.
Highly
Hawks
intelligent.
Fire a shot after halftime. Okay. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. Adamo, you're the man. Hawks. I gave him a bake. Couldn't get near it. 50 points. Massive turnaround after halftime. Where's it coming from? Where's the turnaround coming from?
I think that they're just going to stick to their processes. I mean, we're young, we're hungry, we've had the week off. We haven't got Day in there, but I still think that we're gonna run it out. We're fit. We're at the right time. I mean, you think about it. The last 11 weeks, the only 2 games we lost was one to GWS. We were 4 or 5 goals up last quarter. We lost by a point or 2. And then Port Adelaide. In Port Adelaide, we dominated all game. We were like 30 points up. We lost by a point. I mean, I think we're just having a lot of fun and we're winning. I can't see us. But then on the other hand, if we get pushed, how do we respond if we get 4 goals down? That's different. When you're always winning.
Yep.
How do you remember how to fight back? So that's probably my concern. If Doggies get on a run, then how do you fight back? Because you're not front running. But anything can happen.
Coming from behind the Hawks, as good Hawks do, it is going to be 4 goals down with 10 minutes to go. The boys get on a roll. They take it out by a point. Closer in the close one. Oh, we've got the close one. Adam, you'll be getting a fair few texts, so we might have to add you to our tee off. So what's been happening WhatsApp group, just so you can get involved in the final series. We need to be all action because at the moment it's all Bombers and me being a demon in our group. So we might even add Zamet for good measure. I'm sure he's going to give us a bit of a spray. WhatsApp, I'm not certain he's a WhatsApp kind of man though, must admit. But we'll see. Lovey, is that really what's going to happen?
What?
1 point. Can it happen? Will it happen?
It can always happen, but it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Hawthorn haven't got the experience. Hawthorn won't have the experience in the end. And the key thing is, with Day out, here's the thing, and this is why I say what I say. With Day out, it really tips the midfield balance in the Doggies' favour all night. You've got, if you're trying to cover Bont, you can't. If you're trying to cover Libba, that's fine. You've still got Bont running rampant. Dogs have been, just quietly, the Dogs in their last 9 weeks technically haven't been as good as Hawthorn, but they've had the tougher run and they've also hit form at the right time. But for me, Day out, without trying to also tag up Bont and Libba and Treloar, I just think that it's just too much for that young Hawks team to handle in a final.
So their run gets cut short early into the finals, but amazing effort.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, look,
amazing
I hate the club. I hate that mob. But I tell you what, you've got to tip your lid to anything that a good club does. And Adamo was right. When you've got a winning culture, things happen. So, you know, if you're in it to win it, and you're still a chance until you're not. So, yeah, good luck to them. I hope they fall in a hole, but, you know, they're there. So,
yep. Righto. Good to see you jumping on the Hawks. Giving them no chance. As we'd expect as a typical Essendon supporter. And there's no doubt backing Cuz in. Cuz will give us the vanilla Hawks absolute loss for sure.
Oh, look, as Lovey just touched on, as an Essendon supporter, you grew up to hate Hawthorn, but you've got to respect them as well. And I know a couple of blokes I actually went to school with played at Hawthorn. One of my mate's sons is on Hawthorn's list at the moment. So you've got to give credit where credit's due, and they have been, over the last 20 years, a very successful side. And at the end of the day, the game is about winning premierships, and they've, in the recent times, done very well. They made some tough calls. There was a lot of, I suppose, background noise about getting rid of Clarkson and how that was all handled and whatever, and the succession plan, non-succession plan. But if you look at it now, from where they were at the start of the year to where they are now, about to play finals campaign, and they're not limping into the finals, they're going in with a bit of momentum and a bit of form, you'd have to be happy. And look, I think,
are they winning?
as I said, I think the Doggies will win the game, but as Lovey said, they're in there with a chance. And while you're in there, you've got, as you said at the start, with the famous meme, are you saying there's a chance? And they're one of 8 chances. And I think, as I said before at the start of the potty, I actually think it's a bit of a shame that the Doggies and the Hawks are playing in the elimination final, because if they get on a roll, I actually think they could be one of the sides that could win it from outside the magical top 4.
If you're good enough, you're going to win.
I agree with that, Lovey, but like everybody says, like, and all the experts say, oh, you've got to make it the top 4. Well, you do, but I heard Luke Beveridge on TV, I think yesterday, say everyone says, oh, yeah, you can't win it from 5th, but if you finish in the bottom of the 8, the bottom 4, you've got to win maybe 4 games. If you finish in the top 4, you've got to win 3. 1 game difference. Not a real big difference when you put it down to that simple terms. But that's just my opinion.
But also the cliche that finals are a different game. So that could rule a few out, but let's see. Anyway, let's move on to the Battle of the Bridge, boys. This is the big one. Eddie Zammit has Eddie Zammit has a very stern opinion of who's going to win this final series. You might as well deliver it now, Eddie. Who have you got?
It's the Giants all the way. Toby Green, come on. Like, love him or hate him. They've gone through the pain to get to where they're about to get, and that's the good stuff. I can't see the Swans winning this on the MCG. I think that the Giants have I just think the Giants have gone through the pain to get to the good stuff, and I think Toby Green is bloody funny. Like, he's not for everyone, but in this finals campaign, I think he'll be a standout. And yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think they can win.
If only you could win games by being funny. Eddie Zammit would have the Tigers on top every day of the week.
He was pretty funny with the Swans banter. Come on, that was good. And football needs that. Like, everyone's scared to say stuff.
Wasn't that such a beat up? Like, Isaac Heaney and Toby Green are 2 best friends. They knew exactly what was going on, and
it's the media. Yeah,
so many Muppets were trying to carry on like someone's offended and blah blah blah, and it's like, Jesus, get off the sauce, boys.
It's like when people say at the end of the game, whether the game's been won by a point or 50 points. A lot of these players got drafted together, like went away together when they were younger footballers and whatever. So they are mates. They all know each other well. Yes, when the siren sounds, bang, hard for whatever, when the siren sounds into the game, I'm happy with them to shake hands and whatever.
Cuz you're getting a bit soft. I hate it. It's as bad as you kick a goal and you run off and go and sit on the bench for a couple of minutes. Give me a spell, Cuz.
That's a different thing. At the end of the day,
when you lose a game after working your ass off, you got to hurt a little bit. when you've lost the
You,
game.
you know what? You shake their hands and fuck off if you lost.
Correct.
If you lost the game, you get off the ground as quick as you can because you were judged.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. Like, yeah.
So, okay. So I think, and I spoke to Peter Moore about this many years ago. He
Jeez,
said
your name
the
dropping
most...
tonight, cuz.
Jesus, massive name dropping. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
sorry. Only because he's the only person on the place in front of me playing a losing grand final. None of you blokes did. Sorry.
Righto, we'll give you a little rest, cuz. We'll give you a little rest. Go and have a break. Go and have a breather. Quick breather. We'll bring you back. Righto, let's get back to the game. It's all about the game, the battle of the bridge. Where's it going to be won, boys? Jesse Hogan, is he the real deal? God, I wouldn't mind him back at the Demons for 5 minutes, let me tell you. But
Swans have lost momentum.
they've lost momentum.
Yeah, they just got bored. I reckon Essendon on my brain. I think Sydney.
That's a worry.
Sydney got bored
A virus.
about midway. After about 17 rounds, they were 4 games clear. They just got bored.
Yep.
I reckon Essendon again, mate. I got. Sorry.
Sell those plates for your own sanity, for fuck's sake.
Mate, have we got a bid on those?
No.
Come
I
on.
told you $10.
Sadly not.
By the
No
way,
chance.
By the way, Glenn's mathematics is also shitful. He said 300 cents. He was the highest bid. He's only $7 off mine. But anyway,
I think Sydney.
Yeah. So stop talking about Essendon, mate. What do you really want to say?
I think Sydney will win. I think Sydney will they'll pick it up. They've had a week to reset. I think they're going to win by 50 points. The only downfall is SCG's a shit ground. You can't run. There's just congestion. It's shit. I know Hawks hate playing there because they can't run. Like, you just can't go anywhere. So that's the only downfall.
That's why they'll win, Adam. You're spot on. The only thing this week is the venue.
Yeah. It's a shit.
I don't think the venue scares GWS. They've won their finals before. So I've actually got the GWS winning this by a couple of goals. And the reason is, you talk about the congestion on the ground, Adam. There's one key player that GWS has, and it could be his time to shine, and that's Tom Green. And he's been in some pretty good form of late. And if you're talking about blokes that like just getting a bit filthy about with the football in and under and all the rest of it and extracting it, and he can hoof a ball as well. And Sydney's only got 45-metre arcs, even though they type 50 on the fucking lines. They're 45 metres. So it's a very small ground. And if you give him the football within range, he will have a crack. So I think that I think if Tom Green gets 25 plus, and more than half of those are contested, GWS win this by a couple of goals. Because you only need one key forward, and they've got it. All the rest of their forwards are quite flexible, adaptive, and agile. So they can get up the ground and back. It's not a big ground to cover. So I just think GWS have got a better system than Sydney right now, and I think they get up by a couple of goals.
What do you think, Lovey, and other guys as well? Sorry,
just
is it a game of the skills of the forward, or is it a game that's going to be congested, like you said about congested footy for Tom Green, that sort of stuff? Like, we all know what a great year both sides have had. You said GWS have got one forward. Obviously, he'd love to be back at Melbourne for Az. What do you think about Sydney's forwards? Have they got more mid to kick goals as opposed to standalone forwards? What do you think?
I actually just think, sorry, I'm probably interrupting one or two other viewpoints here, but Sydney's forward line, Sydney's tall forwards probably actually play into the structure of the GWS defenders. Because the GWS have got 2 really good key defenders. They've got 3 or 4 other blokes that are not just foot soldiers, but also use and utilise the football really well. And if you can find me one of those Sydney forwards that are going to be selfless enough to take on Whitfield, good luck. Every single one of those Sydney forwards are selfish. They have been for a long, long time. And Whitfield will just carve them up if they don't pay him enough respect. So I actually think the Sydney forwards will look inept up in aerially, they will. So they hope Papley's fit. and they hope that they can get some goals from a lot of their small forwards as opposed to their talls. The talls won't get it done for Sydney.
This is a game of ego versus hunger, and I'm telling you, hunger is going to win this. Like GWS by a mile. I think not by a mile. I think that Sydney have got ego. Like I think that GWS can play on that ground. Like I think GWS can play on the MCG too. So I think that's something to take into consideration as well.
Righto.
Do you think
Let's
it's
not
no
move
longer
too
big
far
brother?
ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you think it's no longer big brother, little brother? Do you think they're on an even keel now?
They will be. They will be.
This is the one. This is the one. This is the one that decides who's going to be big brother for a little while. We talk about the Kings of Chaos footy, and that used to be the Tigers. They've handed the mantle across to Melbourne for 5 minutes. Then it's gone to Collingwood. Now it's going to be a match of exactly this, GWS versus Sydney. Bit of chaos footy on a small ground. It's not going to be a lot of clean ball, in my opinion. The question is, if the ball comes in dirty into the Swannies, have they got enough to be able to get enough goals on the board? That's the question. Because I reckon the GWS boys can get it done when it is down and dirty. So that's going to be the big question for me. So let's hope for good weather and not the old classic Jew scenario. Let's see. Righto, boys. Margins. Did we get one? Or who's going to give us one?
I'll go.
Kick us off.
GWS by 13 points.
Oh, so we got another pretty close one. That's good to hear in the series. Eddie?
GWS by 23.
Oh, I thought, what happened to the big margin? But 23 could be the big margin of the final series. And I hope it is. I hope it's a good final series, especially week one, especially after the Hawks got over the line by a point. All right, Adamo, give us yours.
Sydney 40 points. Mate, they've been the best team. They've been bored. They'll just regroup and they'll 40 points. Okay, we'll see.
So do you reckon the last 6 weeks they just haven't given a fuck?
Oh, I think they've had a couple of good games. But if you look deeper, I mean, I think they've had a couple of good games. They've shown a lot of heart.
I can just see Johnny Longmire in the room. Just, mate, I don't give a shit. Don't worry about it this week. It's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I can feel a little bit of rusty coming on, but he's God. Thank God we haven't got him on a rant tonight about the Swannies. If he had heard that, he would have been absolutely up and about.
I think GWS by a goal.
Well, close one, righto. They get it done in the scrap.
And I think it's depending on weather, but I think in a scrap. But I think they would prefer a scrap, whereas I think Sydney is lovely touching with their tools and that. Their tools, I'm not convinced on the Sydney tools up forward yet.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm thinking it might be one of those bloody Nick Davis moments. Could happen again. One almost on the siren, but let's see. No, I honestly think GWS are going to get it done by 3 goals. They are close enough. 18 points. May not be 3 clean goals though. That's the question. Could be 18 points they win by. It could be an interesting one. That's for sure. But I think we all largely agree. We think it's going to be fairly close.
18 disgusting points, you reckon, Adam?
Yep. 18 filthy points. Yep.
50 points. What did I say? 40 or 50?
You said 40.
40.
I'll make it 50. Make it 50.
Okay. Hang on. Gamble responsibly. So the multi we're taking is Adams because we're going to make millions. The Hawks are winning by 40?
50. I think you said 50, the Hawks.
50, the Hawks?
Yeah.
The Swannies by 40?
50. No, you said 50 now.
Okay. What was Port and Cats? What did you go with there?
We haven't done it yet.
The Cats. We've done the Cats one, haven't we? I said Port Adelaide.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
Cuz if you sit any closer, your head will come through the screen.
No, it's like watching Hey Hey It's Saturday. It's like Dickie Noo.
Yeah, like
Oh, we love the boy. Get the boy off. Cuz I'm going to give you a 30-second warning. A 30-second warning. Right? This is it. Here it goes. And when I bring you back up, you got to have one for me.
Like the 89 grand final. I condemn the sim. Cuz's Classics. It's what the crowd come to see. Cuz's Classics.
Righto, Cuz. What have you got for us?
Well, you did steal my thunder a little bit. The final series
I just gave you a
that Nick
pump up.
Davis
Come on,
had.
man. Yep. Oh,
Like
I
those
just said that one.
games.
You can't go there. Give me
Well,
another
didn't
one.
Okay, I'll go back a point then. Okay, let's go back to as much as it will pain Lovey. 1999, the day Carlton beat us by a point.
Fucking hell, mate. What are you doing?
This
Oh,
guy's
it's not
bringing
amazing.
these.
That prelim was amazing.
Talk about battle scars.
Oh, well, that was the day that Essendon lost the game that they could never lose.
If you were
forcing a
sitting
man to
in front of
drink.
me right now, this would be across your fucking forehead. Dead set,
Oh,
mate.
hang on, I'll get close enough. Have a go.
Oh, any closer. Here we
What's
go.
gonna make our friend Lovey mad today? Lovey loses it. Lovey loses it. Lovey loses it. Yeah.
Well played, Lovey. Well played. It's
Now, Adam,
only
sorry.
see how far apart I've kept you guys tonight on the screen. Just
Adam,
far
that
enough
last
away.
photo of Alan, have you seen the movie Deliverance?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, that's
Righto, boys. Let's move to the last game. This
Go,
is where
Lovey.
the action is. It's the get out stakes. It is Brisbane versus Carlton. Saturday night, 7:30 at the Gabba.
Every final series has a blowout game. One blowout game.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's the way to start it.
And I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it. They can bring in Genghis Khan, God himself, Zeus, fucking General Patton.
where would you play Genghis, mate? What position?
Carlton are not defender. He's good at chopping arms and stuff. But honestly, this should be a very quick part of this segment, Aaron. It's Brisbane by 91 points. Joey Danaher plays a game of his life, kicks 7. Hipwood plays his one great game of the year. He'll kick 6. So there'll be 13 between the two of them, and they'll run them. They'll run them up. They really will. Carlton are just not fit enough now. You can't bring in a whole bunch of players like that and expect to win a final.
Yep.
Just
I
on
think
that,
you might be right. Cuz?
The Doherty thing, an amazing achievement to come back from what he's come back, the trials and tribulations. But I know he is an adult and can make his own choices. But that's, as Lovey said, that's playing with fire. I think. I know it's a sudden death and you've got to do everything you can, but I think he will be a liability. I think he's a lovely bloke and a great Carlton person, but they actually pick him if he does get picked. I think they're going to be pushing uphill anyway. But to name him on the side, even as the sub, I think that's a poor selection decision.
I'm going to challenge that.
Same.
They're and I'm not talking about emotion here. He will play as the sub. So he will play as the sub. So you bring him on halfway through the third quarter. So he doesn't have to run a game out. So fitness won't be the issue, right? Mm-hmm. If you've got him in some miraculous event that Carlton are within 3 goals in the game, or heaven forbid they're in front when he comes on, why would you you would love to have a steady head like his. He hasn't lost the ability to play the game. So I actually think it's a good move. What I'm talking about is that you're going to bring in another 4 blokes who've got a fitness clouds on top of that. I mean, I reckon Doherty's probably, with all the work he had to have put in, he's probably fitter than the other 4 probably coming in. So I question the fact that you've got so many other blokes that are coming in already knocked up, probably taking stabs in their injury areas before they even get on the ground. I know they've got to roll the dice, and I think having those blokes coming in will be a good confidence booster for them internally. But if you're trying to tell me that that's actually going to get you to win a game of finals football up at the Gabba against a team that's hardly got injuries, I'm just saying. I just think Carlton are, shit club, but they're just stiff with the way that all of those injuries have occurred within a month of playing finals football. That's
Oh,
just
look,
just the way it works, right? So
and they got as you said, they got debilitating injuries to foreign
Key
movers.
players.
So that's and that. But the thing with the Doherty thing, like I understand, and your point's a valid point, Lovey. What the point I was trying to make was, I don't understand. Yes, playing as a sub, and I can understand why, if it's in that perfect world that we like to think with, where things go perfectly in a game of football. But as we've all known as watchers, coaches, whatever of the game, just so it goes pear-shaped and they have 2 injuries down early, bang, bang, then he's on there.
Nothing goes perfect in a final, mate.
And
that's
exactly
the
right.
dice you roll.
Yeah. So, look, I think, unfortunately, and that's the way of the fixture and how their results ended up the last couple of weeks with injuries and that, I think, as you said, with a blowout, I don't think it'll be 91 points, but I think they'll get...
Yes, it will.
It'd be
I
10 goals.
want it to be 9. I want it to be 191. I want it to
Adam, just telling you, we don't like Hawthorn, but Lovey despises Carlton.
He hates
Like,
Carlton.
Next
Well,
level.
I'm sensing an offer here. This could
Well,
be a potential tattoo. Lovey.
This could be a
What do you
tattoo.
reckon?
This could be a tattoo.
Oh, no,
I heard
seriously. If Carlton win this final, the ankle tat's going. Carlton emblem on the right ankle.
Oh, Carlton win this final.
Yep.
If Carlton,
Oh,
say,
no.
hang on, just win.
It's not that fucking hard, Glenn. If Carlton win this final...
No, just because I know you like to get out of things, these sweat me statements.
No, I don't.
And can we-
I stump up. The team
we
don't
keep it
get
as
up
on?
for me. Not my fault.
Yep,
Can we
sweeping
gold it as
statement.
on?
Well,
Gold Coast was shit.
On.
What?
I
It's the Carlton insignia. It goes on the right ankle. 20-cent piece. Size of a 20-cent piece. You couldn't get me on the Gold Coast one. You won't get me on this one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it from you, Lovey. There we go. You heard it first on
there,
to what's
Fossey?
been
Got
happening.
him, mate. He's in. Beautiful. Tough.
Who are you calling now? Who are you name dropping?
No one.
Okay.
Bit of Bazasto.
The two other blokes heard it. They laughed.
mate, I heard that Kerno's probably not going to play.
He's pregnant.
Yeah, I heard he's done. But
He's
I
dirty
think
done.
I think Brisbane will win comfortably.
Yeah.
They finish 5th. It's in Brisbane. The only probably concern is they like to kick a lot of points up there.
That's
just
true.
love points.
Yep.
But
So
look,
Joe Danaher will kick 7 goals, 10. Sorry, I forgot.
you know,
Yeah, the shank.
I don't
Yeah.
like. I just think he's a selfish player, but that's just. I don't know. I don't think he's a team player. That's just my opinion. Look, I think they'll win, but you know, when you got a captain like Patrick Cripps, mate, anything can happen.
Yeah,
He
true.
just drags people out.
He does, but he can't. I admire
He's
him.
the
Mate,
shining,
he can't
he's the
carry them
shining
all.
light of Carlton, but Brisbane will win this so comfortably. It's not funny.
The line's 22.5 points, so I don't know. I think they'll cover that.
Fucking unders.
What's that?
That's unders.
Yeah, that's 20 there. I reckon it'll be 50 points. But
Who do they
can't
play?
wait to go.
I'm
Who
saying
is the winner of
64.
this game play next week then? The loser of the
What's
Battle
that?
of the Bridges?
One job,
Yeah.
cuz.
The winner of this game plays the loser of Sydney and GWS.
Thank you, Alan.
This Brisbane Carlton game's the most boring of all the four.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, put it this way. Saturday night.
Carlton
It's going
too,
to
but
be a lot of fun. Carlton get up by a point in controversial circumstances.
It's
It'd
gonna
be
be a
lot
lot
of
more
I've got to go
fun, yeah.
out. I have to go out and buy myself a Brisbane jumper tomorrow.
I think Port
You got one of those,
Adelaide.
Adam?
What's that? Sorry.
You got a Brisbane jumper?
No, just
dead.
so we got. What's the bid at for the Dons BB? What's the bid?
$10.
at? 10. Cuz, what do you got?
300 cents.
You're at $7. Any other bids?
No, I'm out.
So it's going to MND. Lovey.
That's right. So I'm giving $10 as free as MMD. What were you fucking doing? 300
I'll
cents.
give another 10. That's 20.
He's
There you
at
go.
20. Cuz is at 20.
So that between us will give 20. As how much are given for the number plates? We're up to $20 so far.
Yeah, I'll throw 10 in.
Yep.
I don't know who we're giving them to, but We're
Yeah,
throwing
no.
money and we're just raising money willy nilly. It's
However,
like,
They cost me
throwing away
300.
the plates. We're just donating them.
yeah, it's
Mate,
kind of like how,
they cost me 300.
geez, you're
See-
doing well here. Good investment, mate.
You must have been fucking stupid back in the day. Like, seriously.
We
Mate,
will
that's a
have
good investment. How good do they look there? They look great. Look at that.
You're talking about a guy that's investing in crypto here, mate.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
talking one of the great crypto gods. We'll talk about crypto
We
on
need to
another
get on the
episode.
crypto.
We'll get you back, Adam, for a
Use your
crypto
crypto
chat
for
and how hard you've just tanked that money between the crypto world.
Yeah, we did a podcast on crypto just recently. You can see that online. So, yeah, I do it with my partner here in crime. This is his microphone here. But no, I didn't invite him tonight because, fuck, you won't get a word in. He just doesn't shut the fuck up, mate.
Adam
He's
is
a
the
good
quiet
bloke.
man. The quiet
He's a
man
good
amongst them.
Hello to your partner too, by the way. Welcome to the
No.
podcast. Cheers.
He's not short of opinion. Not short of an opinion, Rashid. We must get him on for a chat in amongst. He'll tell you a bit about politics. That's for sure.
Fucking
Roger.
annoying. What's that?
Roger Rashid.
No, Roger. No, Roger. Everyone gets a nickname on this show, Cuz.
Come
And
on.
you have had your fair share. Fair to
Oh, you
say.
think? You think?
All right,
Everyone gets a
boys.
nickname.
That is it for
So-
episode 148 of So What's Been Happening. Feel free to stay on for a couple of minutes as we tee off on each other, more than likely off air. But, Cuz, we'll finish with this message. It's a simple one, but it sums up kind of where you're at the moment, mate. We love you,
There's an
Cuz.
assumption that the requests were coming in.
That's a bit harsh.
Very true. And Berkey, you summed it up well, mate. You can't cut the Cuz.
No.
Welcome back, Cuz. It's always good to see a
Lovely
smiling
to be
face,
back, boys.
Straubs. See you, mate. Oh, great to spend an hour and 20 minutes of a half an hour podcast with the boys, as usual. Like to thank all the boys for jumping on. Rusty, another great effort. Said you'd be on the show, didn't turn up. Brilliant effort. Didn't get a chance to bring your Swannies home and pitch for them. Adamo from Listen to This, thanks a lot for joining us, mate. It's been great to have you on batting for the Hawks. Hopefully we can get you on next week. You only come on if you're a winner. That's how it's going to work these days. Eddie Zamet, winners, yeah, maybe not. It was a great era. Let's just go with that. We'll go with that. It's going to be great to have a chat about Dustin Martin at the Gold Coast Suns in the next couple of weeks as he signs the great deal and contract. And we might bring as many Tigers on as we can find after that. And I'm sure Lovey will be number one member of the Gold Coast if the Suns can get it done with a great off-field signing over Christmas. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining me. Good luck to all the teams that are out there. Good luck to all the local footy teams that are still playing finals. And get out there and enjoy some footy. Get out there and catch up with a mate and go and see some footy. Cuz, get the train. Get the train, mate. Go and get the train in. See ya.